I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic engineer gold mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Jordan Bateman, Communications Director for the Independent Contractors and Business Association. Welcome back to the show, Jordan.
Thanks for having me, Jim, and happy spring to you.
The BC government is now going to support LNG and perhaps give them some tax breaks to get it going in British Columbia. Was that a surprise for you?
It was. Given John Horgan and the NDP's comments about LNG in the past, given the fact that they criticized the BC Liberals for selling the farm, as they said, to try to get LNG investment over the past few years, to see them come in with a package that actually takes less money from LNG producers than the Liberals were planning to take. Yeah, that was a big shock, but certainly a welcome one for those of us who want to see this $40 billion LNG Canada investment go forward.
Now, a $6 million tax break, is that enough to get things rolling? And does that send a positive message to other people who'd like to perhaps start LNG projects in British Columbia?
Well, there's some interesting parts to that. So, first of all, this deal is only on the table until November. So, really, for a new project to come in and start from scratch, I don't think they could get to a final investment decision by November. So, really, we're talking about, the LNG Canada proposal for Kitimat. We're talking probably about wood fiber LNG near Squamish, and then the steelhead one near Port Alberni. Those seem to be the three that have a shot at this. The tax cuts are pretty substantial. One thing they're doing is they're allowing these companies to defer the PST that they have to pay on the infrastructure at the beginning. They can defer it over 20 years. So I know a lot of businesses would love this deal where, instead of having to pay that 7% tax upfront on, all of the construction materials and services and whatnot that go into building these projects, they can pay them over the 20 years as their revenues come on stream. So that's certainly attractive. Exempting them from the carbon tax increase. Jim, I would like to be exempted from carbon tax increases as well, so I wish the NDP would extend that to the rest of us. And then eliminating the BC Liberal LNG income tax, which is a good move. I didn't understand why the Liberals were slapping an extra tax on LNG producers anyways, but amazing to me that the same NDP who said that the Liberals were basically giving away this resource are actually, cutting taxes on it.
Well, take a look at all the jobs, though, that'll be created, and they pay income tax.
Well, exactly. A $40 billion investment. The entire provincial budget's only about $55 billion a year. So your $40 billion investment would be a record-setting investment for for a private company in Canada. You're talking about just a massive amount of money. And, about roughly $10 billion or so on the plant itself in Kitimat. So, that's essentially another Site C dam, except with private money, not taxpayer money. And then, billions more to run the pipeline from the northeast to the northwest of BC. And, billions more to go in the ground and get enough natural gas to actually, fuel that pipeline, to fill that pipeline. So it's an incredible investment, and that's why we're so keen on this industry, because you're talking about thousands and thousands of construction jobs, hundreds of ongoing jobs, it would be a huge boost. Kitimat will absolutely boom if this thing is approved.
Does this also send a message internationally, though, that Canada can supply energy? And once a project's up and going, we're a pretty reliable source. We don't turn our natural gas off in the winter like Russia's done to the Ukraine a couple of times.
Yeah, I think it is. I do think it's held in conflict, though, with the NDP stand on the Trans Mountain Pipeline. A project that has been duly approved, that has a final investment decision, and yet still is not in the ground. So, you got to kind of balance it out. But, look, what's perplexing about John Horgan is it took him a long time, but he finally came to the right decision on Site C. It took him a long time, but he finally came to the correct decision on LNG. our hope is that on Trans Mountain, it takes them a long time, but eventually comes to the correct decision that this is an important project, both nationally and provincially, and should go forward. That is the last bastion of activist government in his cabinet room, and it's time for him to completely disavow that and instead be a pragmatic governor of British Columbia.
Well, several sources have said if they double the pipeline to Vancouver from Edmonton, it'll lower gasoline prices. And in Vancouver, where we already pay the highest gasoline taxes in Canada and in North America, we pay the highest prices. It's near $1.60 a liter now. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's pressure on the government to do something to bring those prices down?
I think the government's trying desperately to keep that separate from the debate over Kinder Morgan. And the funny thing is, you have this one rogue so-called economist, Robin Allen, who's writing these pieces claiming that Trans Mountain will actually make the cost of gas go up, thoroughly debunked by every expert on who actually looks at this stuff. The truth is, Trans Mountain could reduce the price of gasoline by as much as 15 to 20 cents per liter. So a 10% cut in gas prices. It would be huge for us in the Lower Mainland. You're right. We're paying $1.55. We're headed to $1.60 a liter. Carbon tax increase coming in April 1st of 1.5 cents. These are all big problems for us. And not surprisingly, if you take a look at border crossing weights are going up. And why? Because Canadians are crossing the border to buy their gasoline, grab some milk and cheese. I know many people, families who actually buy groceries in the United States now as well. You're talking about savings of hundreds and hundreds of dollars over the course of a year. Well worth the time invested in doing so.
Well, you reach a point, too, where you tax stuff to the point where people just aren't going to buy it in Canada. They will go to the U.S., so you miss out on the revenue totally.
Yeah, exactly. You completely, you're exactly right. You miss out on that revenue. It's one of the reasons why the mayors are so desperate to move from gasoline taxes for traveling to mobility pricing, so that you can't avoid it. As if free choice is something that we need to squash when it comes to drivers. But yeah, it's disappointing. Gas taxes right now are about 52, 53 cents a liter. They fluctuate because GST is charged on top of everything else. So as gas prices go up, you actually pay more in taxes. Studies consistently show that 95% of the difference in price between Canada and the United States, between British Columbia and Blaine, Washington, is to do with taxes. We have higher gas taxes than they do in the States, and that's why we end up paying so much more.
How much of a burden are these higher gasoline fuel prices on business right now? Could some small businesses be driven right out of here?
No, they're hammering. It's absolutely hammering small businesses. So these small businesses already worried about the payroll tax, the healthcare tax that the NDP are bringing in. You have them worried about all sorts of, the carbon tax increase. You have them worried about property tax increases, more red tape. If you actually are successful in business, you're paying a higher income tax than ever before. These are all big problems. And so, this gas prices absolutely hammer it. Like our contractors at ICBA, by and large are small businesses. They have one or two, trucks that maybe do plumbing or electrical or general contracting, and they have to drive from place to place. There's no option to throw their tools on the SkyTrain or, the 99B line and go that way. They have to drive, and we are absolutely hammering businesses with higher costs over and over again, gasoline being just the latest.
We'll have more with Jordan Bateman right after the break.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp, RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario, with grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program to test numerous targets located by recent groundwork is planned for early 2018. Please visit our website at rmroyalty.com.
Bateman Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN AF. surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines. Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Jordan Bateman. Jordan, the BC Labor Code is now under review. What do you expect is going to happen, and what would you like to see happen?
Well, the NDP's good friends and the unions are, look, the unions have been out of vogue for 16 years now. The BC Liberals were in power. The NDP were relegated to opposition. The unions poured millions and millions of dollars into the NDP coffers, provided them with countless volunteer hours, all sorts of ammunition for their war with the BC Liberals and candidates. And now the unions are saying, NDP government, it is payback time. We want to change the labor code and heavily skew it to favor our union interests. The BC Federation of Labor put in their application or their report into the Labor Relations Code Review Panel. We've at ICBA put in one. We actually got 12 other business associations on ours: BC Chamber of Commerce, Urban Development Institute, Tourism Industry, Retail Council, Restaurants Canada, New Car Dealers, Greater Vancouver Board of Trade, CFIB. Like together, we're representing a million workers or so on ours, and we're going to push back against the unions. The unions want to do a number of things. Probably the most grievous of which is strip a worker's right to a secret ballot when it comes to union certification votes. And essentially, anytime a company or workers are thinking about joining a union or switching unions or leaving a union, they want that vote to be done by card check, which means signing it in public, subject to peer pressure, rather than the sanctity of the secret ballot, which is a cornerstone of our democracy.
Isn't that the kind of thing that gets people beaten up?
Yeah, exactly. The Manning Center has a whole report on this, looking at how the card check system doesn't work, how when you actually go to secret ballot, support for unionization plunges. And the truth is, it's peer pressure. So, if you and I are working together and I decide that we need a union in our workplace, I can kind of lean on you a bit. I can show up at your kid's soccer game. Maybe I'm your supervisor. Jim, how'd you like to work the graveyard shift? If you don't sign this card, I'm going to put you on that. There's all sorts of kind of public peer pressure things that occur that may fall short of coercion or outright intimidation, but certainly aren't fair or transparent. A secret ballot gives you that protection. It gives you that chance to kind of stop, think about it for a few days. There are very strict rules. The Labor Relations Board, much like Elections BC and regular elections, the Labor Relations Board manages how campaigns, each side can kind of talk to you during that period. What can be done. They make sure the vote is fair. And when you come out of it, if, workers have decided to unionize, when you've had a secret ballot, the employer can have the confidence that, yeah, this is actually what they want. They haven't been intimidated into this. It removes any shred of doubt about it. And you can kind of go forward from there. Otherwise, with the card check system, there's always that little niggling doubt in the back of employers' minds, like, these guys were forced into it. They don't really want a union. It really is unfair. So those are some of the things that need to be considered in all of these debates.
We'll have more with Jordan Bateman right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Jordan Bateman. Jordan, the BC government under the NDP is doing exactly the same thing they criticize the Liberals for, and that's running very expensive television ads promoting everything that they plan to do. So if it's housing or ICBC or Hydro, they keep rolling out these very expensive ads telling us, we're trying to do our jobs. Well, we know the government's trying to do a job. Why do they have to spend millions on advertising to promote monopolies?
Yeah, this one drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me bonkers because, my previous life at the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, I fought these ads tooth and nail. I thought the NDP were on side. They had promised to go to kind of the gold standard system, which is, submitting every single government ad to the Auditor General of British Columbia, having the Auditor General look it over, make sure it was actually A, necessary, and B, free of any partisan attachments. We saw this system work well in Ontario for a period of time, where, ads were, kibosh because, the Liberal government wanted to run red government ads, kind of reinforcing their colors, wanted to use cabinet ministers. The Auditor General would quash those and say, no, they didn't meet the criteria. That is precisely what we need here. It's what Adrian Dix promised when in opposition. It's what John Horgan promised in opposition. And now they're government, and, the promise goes into the shredder. And here we are, just advertising like crazy, doing exactly what the BC Liberals did. And it's this kind of thing, I think, that, more than anything else, contributes to the cynicism about our politicians and elected officials when they say one thing in opposition, and then they get their greasy little hands on the levers of power, and they do the complete opposite.
Well, I remember the Harper government was promoting their jobs program years after that program ended, yet they kept running the ads on TV. Yeah,
the Harper government at one point won a Teddy Waste Award from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation because they actually were running ads during a Stanley Cup campaign for a jobs program that didn't exist. Crazy to think that that's possible, but the NDP ads we see now, these government taxpayer-funded ads, and by the way, every ad we're going to see from now on will be taxpayer-funded because we're cutting massive taxpayer subsidy checks to political parties for their election advertising as well. But, these are supposed to be government ads. They should be only on government business that is of utmost importance, like statutory things that they have to advertise. There's no need for them to have these soft, cushy ads about, lovely BC budget 2018, more childcare, more. It's nonsense. It's political pandering, and the BC NDP should be absolutely ashamed of themselves for lying to the people that they were going to change this thing and instead embracing it whole hog. They are no better than Christy Clark and the BC Liberals in this, and, they should be humiliated about that, but, they won't be because they're in power now, and so these systems always work great when you're in power.
Jordan, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yeah, I got that bent out shape of that. That one really gets under my skin, Jim. Like government advertising, because it's such a colossal waste of money. And somewhere out there, there's a single mom working 2 jobs, trying to do her best for her family, for her kids, and she's paying taxes, and her taxes are being spent on a government ad telling her how wonderful the budget is, and that's just complete and utter bull hockey, as they say. So. Yes, thank you for having me, and now I'm going to be all angry for the rest of the week I'm thinking about.
Oh, sorry about that, Jordan. My guest has been Jordan Bateman, Communications Director for the Independent Contractors and Business Association, their website, icba.ca. You're listening to The Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. If you have any questions for us or our guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.